Hello everybody and welcome back to Victoria 3, where we are headed towards revolution. And hopefully this doesn't fail before the revolution starts. We will see. I want the revolution to happen here. That is ideal. Now you'll see we're pretty negative financially, and that's not great. No doubt about that. This is not a great situation to be in economically. But the idea is, after the revolution, we'll deal with it. So we've got a street side standoff here. We could order a withdrawal or order our men to advance on the mob. It doesn't really matter either way, I don't think. We kind of want this to happen, so unfortunately, that knocked it back. Kind of bad luck there. Now we hit a stall here. We can take ourselves another setback, potentially. We're at 16% chance here. This would boost it up to 26, actually. That's pretty okay. So we'll proceed forward with that. Looks fine for now. So this revolution is, of course, wreaking havoc on our economy right now, right? Our debt is building up. That's not surprising in the slightest. So we're not going to be building for a little while here. That's for sure. We're going to have to deal with this political turmoil first, and I think that it's absolutely necessary to deal with this political turmoil, because if we don't, well, we're never going to be able to change the law. Ever. This is basically our only option. So we have to have a revolution, and that's the only way to go about this at this point. So this revolution is great. We are happy to have this happen. For the moment, we'll continue to proceed forward. Our finances, definitely not great. That's for sure. What are we working on financially right now? Improve fertilizer? Okay. Troubles of the commons. Well. We could put a limit on rent in here. That's actually a good thing here, because that would make the aristocrats more radical. We're trying to create a divide here, specifically, between the elites of the ulema, the landowners, and the armed forces, and everyone else. So who all is going to join this? Well, 12 states. Is that the total number of states? I don't know. But Britain is definitely going to join this. Let's take a look here. Okay, so Britain should help us here, and this should be fine. We shouldn't have a significant problem with this. So in theory, once this rebellion starts, all of the people who hate this are going to leave the country and no longer be actively opposing it, is the idea. So we'll see what happens on this next tick here. We have basically no chance of anything except success or stall. And we don't really want this to go away before the revolution starts. So, rural folk, yeah, we can boost this up. That's fine. So this is 92. This revolution will start on the next tick here. However, I think we're going to have one more roll here, and if we just hit a setback, that would cause significant problems. Wait, this is at -5? This is at -5. So we're going to have events do this. Okay. So that's noted. We're going to have to get there via event. For now, we'll see what happens. This is pretty okay. We're at 27% here. That's pretty okay. Nihilist movement is definitely helping boost that. So we'll see if we're able to pass this without a revolution. I kind of doubt it. Odds are not fantastic, but they're better than they have been. So 27 to 72. I like it. We're continuing to boost the Nihilists here. And the real question at this point is, how long before this happens? Well, we hit some industrial barriers here. So the petite bourgeoisie are kind of in a weird middle ground for us between who we're trying to drive the wedge between. It's kind of odd. I feel like the petite bourgeoisie are mostly not really, like, on any side here, right? Yeah, this is just the elites versus, well, actually, if we go here, this is the elites versus the non-elites, pretty much, is the way that boils down to. So vacuum canning has been unlocked. That gives us access to vacuum packaging for our food industries, so that'll boost up our food industry production, but, I mean, ultimately, it's not going to be the biggest thing in the world. So we have an oil rig, apparently. Can we build oil rigs? No. Okay. One is being built by presumably someone with outside investment. Who is building this? I want to check here. Yeah, that must be an external investor. So rural folk are sowing discord. So rural folk gaining a bunch of interest approval here would be great. I'd be happy about that. This revolution is just chilling at this moment at 87. I was hoping that this would go all the way to 100. But it seems to just be sitting at 87. We didn't get an event on this last tick. So let's see what happens here. We need 2 success rolls here, and we're probably not going to get those. What I was really hoping was to agitate this revolution enough. Well, we'll see what happens on this tick. Anything? Just about there. Okay, so we hit a stall here. We could gain... Actually, Nihilist Movement gaining activism and attraction is good here. And 10% authority. We'll take that. That's a good stall. I like it. So that's fine for the moment. The real question now is, can we trigger this revolution? I want the revolution to happen. We're not seeing very much progress on it right now. And the Nihilist Movement is continuing to grow here, which will boost up our odds here a little bit. We got lucky there. Ah, Workers' Brigades. So this would bring it up by 5% and boost the political strength of the intelligentsia. That sounds good. So we're up to 92, but we're not going to be able to get that any higher. I'm not sure if we can actually trigger any revolution here. We will see. We will see. But this did drop down the stall chance to 72. So that's good. That is not bad at all, actually. Yeah, that's very, very good. So boosting that up is phenomenal. We would like there to be an actual revolution happening here. That would be absolutely ideal. Because if we can get a presidential republic, that's going to change things significantly. Okay, so the Nihilist Movement just ended. That seemed like that was a lot earlier than it should have. And this is going to reduce the intelligentsia political strength, which isn't necessarily ideal. But this will boost authority, production, research speed, and political strength of academics. And we'll go with that to kind of offset that a little bit. So the Nihilist Movement still exists. That's good. That's very, very good. We still have low market access at this point. That's understood. Revolutionaries are raiding this depot. 60% chance of it going up by 10%. We'll take that. It went down. Oh, no. Okay. I want it to go up, but it went the wrong direction. That is unfortunate. That was a 40% chance roll. Well, let's see what happens with the Presidential Republic here. If we get good events, we could get it passed. And that would be fantastic to do. Absolutely wonderful, in fact. We're trying to force this at this point. But man, our people are so politically apathetic that they won't even rebel. That's what we've got right now. Oil was just discovered, and that seems fine. Can we actually build any? No. We don't have the tech. We're lacking tech for that. And the tech that we need is pump jacks, right? So that is this guy right over here. I'm going to queue that up for research after improved fertilizer. That should be fine. We have aniline currently being exposed. In the military tab, we have logistics. And in the society tab, we have dialectics. Okay. So that's understood. Absolutely. This revolution will eventually build up. Maximum progress is 87% due to activism, and that is fine. Who is actually doing the activism? It's not our political movements. Interesting. I guess it's just our political interests here. They are very upset, and that's understood. Heavy-handedness. Okay. So what do we want to go for here? 50% chance of the intelligentsia getting political strength and the ulema getting the positive partnership. I don't like the ulema getting strength here. The intelligentsia getting strength would be good, and both would pull from the strength of the landowners and the armed forces, but the ulema are the most powerful. Stand down. Okay. Not ideal at all. But for now, let's see how this goes. We have to succeed 2 rolls. We have a 27% chance, followed by presumably another 27% chance. We've hit 2 setbacks already. We're still going for this, though. We need to make something happen here, and watch nothing happen at all because we hit a stall here, just instantly get a setback, and then this law goes away. And so does the revolution, and nothing changes. Oh boy. I'm 95% certain that that's what we're going to see happening here. If that's what happens, I'm going to be pretty upset. I'm not going to lie. Even trying to foment a revolution. Oof. Well, we'll give this another couple weeks. This revolution will tick, and we'll get a tick on this law change as well. We'll see what happens here. We will see. Okay, so there's the revolution tick there. So armed forces would gain interest group approval. Potentially. This would bring us up to 98%. 50% chance of it. I think getting the approval from the armed forces is better. We didn't get it. Okay. Well, it was worth the try. So let's see what happens on this tick. Stall the Shah's speech. We can challenge the speech. Minus 10% enactment success chance overall. So that is unfortunate. That is unfortunate indeed. Note that this whole time, radicalism is ramping up, but it's not going up very quickly, to be honest. Like, 2.46 million politically unaligned? That's insane. Absolutely bonkers at this moment. You know, we're negative anyway. I'm going to resume construction here. It's going to be really painful financially. We're probably going to have to declare bankruptcy again, but maybe we can just foist it off on the revolution. That would be neat. I don't know if there's a good way to do that. Okay, so let's see what happens on this particular tick. We need 12% revolution, right? So we'll see what happens with that. So we're back to 17% here. We would definitely like to continue to boost the nihilists. That would be ideal. And we're going to continue to build here for now. Ersatz food, huh? I want to boost the Civil War here. That brings us up to 98% minus 9. We might, emphasis on might, be able to get there in the next tick here. I'd really like this revolution to actually start. We just can't get our people to do anything. They're just sitting there. Hilarious. So in the meantime, we're building all of these opium plantations and other resource extractors. We're going to be going heavily into debt here. The plan is we are going to declare bankruptcy. That's the plan. If there's not another way around it. Ideally, there would be another way around it. We're expanding motor industries with our financial districts right now. That's okay. We're going to get through a bunch of these buildings, and eventually that'll boost our government dividends up a bit, but we make so little from this. Our government dividends efficiency is only 24.79%, so yeah, we would prefer that to be privatized, to be honest. Animist rights movement, okay, that's fine. So let's see what happens on this revolution tick. There's a theoretical chance. It went down to... This went down by 10%, not the 9% that was promised. Let's take this up to 98. Opium addiction? Yeah, that's to be expected. So this is back up to 98, but yeah, this is at minus 10. I am not convinced that we can actually get a revolution here. Dominion of India just left the British Empire. That is a significant change to the power level of the British Empire. We're going to begin improving relations with India. Okay, so that looks absolutely fine for right now. So this is going to drop back down eventually. And we'll see what happens with this enaction of Presidential Republic. We're at a 15% success chance. The plan was never to actually pass this law. The plan was to have this revolution go off. It's only 535 individuals becoming radical per month. This is insane how much political inertia this nation has. This is wild. Okay. Well, we're just going to continue constructing for a good long time. You can see our GDP is shooting upwards right now. And that's great, but we're going to have economic issues. So martial law is here. I mean, we're not going to be able to get there. We can't get this revolution off. We're just going to have to hope that we get the law passed. That's all there is to it. So we're at 15% right now. Maybe we'll get there. Emphasis on maybe. But no one wants any law changes whatsoever. So we just have to rely on luck here. What do we get? Great Britain enforcing military access. Whatever. I don't actually really care about that so much. There's this Russian front up over here, though. So we're going to need to send some troops up over there, and we're going to do exactly that. We're just going to go defend this front. So up they go. And I think that's the only front that matters. Actually, there are a couple more fronts down over here. Let's send some smaller forces down here. There we go. So we're just going to do something along the lines of that. Law progressed to adoption. Okay. So now we're at a 15% chance to just succeed this. We shall see. So Russia has forces on the way over here. I'm going to have these guys, for the moment, be on advance front. Once they arrive there. Okay. So they're going to head up there and be on advance front for right now. Unfortunately, it's taking them 1 trillion years to get there. They took a very strange route, but whatever. Okay, so they're going to advance that front for a little bit. Herat is currently improving relations. That's fine. Sailors are staying ashore. We have sailors? Shocking. More radicalism. There we go. So that'll be fine, and we are currently pushing our way through up over here. We're going to need to switch these over very soon to being on the defensive, and we should probably do that right now. So we're going to switch these over to defend front. There we go. And these guys over here, they're on defend. They should be on advance. I want to clean up these fronts. Okay, so there we go. That'll be fine. Eventually, the British will arrive up over here, I think. I hope. I wish. Maybe. Okay, so I would love to see the Presidential Republic end up being a thing here. So there's improved fertilizer. That will help us with our throughput on our farms. So we can definitely go to fertilizers and fertilizers. So that looks great. And we can go to improved fertilizers for our fertilizer plant. Let's have those good substitutions occur. Okay, I want these guys to switch over to defend, and they're going to come reinforce this front up over here. The British are coming, so that's good. They're going to come hold this line. We just need to defend it for a little bit and slow them down, right? So these guys, they're going to switch over to defend front, and we're going to move on up over here as well. We don't really care about what's going on out over here. This is irrelevant. Okay, so as far as the Presidential Republic goes here, we're not going to be able to get a revolution going, I don't think. We're at 89 right now. This is a lot closer And of course, it drops to 88 there. So we'll try to coax some back here at the cost of a little bureaucracy. We need as much as we can in the intelligentsia's corner here. So that is fine. We're up to 20% on the nihilist movement, though. So that brings us up to a 20% success chance. That was a big, big gain there. I like it. And the Russians are pushing in over this way. We're still waiting for the British to show up here. They'll get here eventually, I hope. You coming, British? These guys just zooming. Okay. So the British did show up. These guys showed up very swiftly. I like it. So that's wonderful. I'm guessing the reason this war broke out, this is Russia attacking the British, right? Yeah. So I'm guessing the reason why this broke out was because of India exiting the British Empire. So that's fine. Resignation from government? Okay. What are we at for legitimacy right now? It's got to be low. Yeah, we've got the rural folk in government right now. We can just go to the intelligentsia. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the intelligentsia in government right now. That puts us up to 27%. So that's great. Trucial States wants us to support their independence. We cannot do that at this time. A fortune, a sea of anger, huh? Well, I'd like the higher chance of increasing the civil war. There we go. We're really close to being able to actually spark this civil war. So that's phenomenal. The Russians are coming in over here. That's absolutely understood. Lots of people in default. We're going to be in default ourselves soon enough, but we're just wanting to construct as much as we can right now. Let's check in on our population. Okay, so not too bad on the population front. That's noted. So now the question is, are we going to have a 27% roll here and just adopt presidential republic? That would be huge. Oh, this guy doesn't have a commander. Let's put in this guy from the intelligentsia to boost up the intelligentsia's power a little bit. So we're at 27%, 27.7 right now. The nihilist movement is at 18%. Noted. So what do we got going on here? The British are winning this battle. That's a good sign. We definitely want to push back here. That's for sure. Checking in here, minus 10.5. Okay. Wallachia is in default. Netherlands are out of the war. Sadly, we stalled here. Let's stay focused on the law here. That brings us down to a 22% chance. Okay. So we're at 94. We can actually spark this revolution. We're in the middle of this other war right now, and this is an awkward time to do that. That's for sure. It's a very, very awkward time to do that. We'll continue to work on these opium plantations for right now. I'd love to get these finished up. And we're not going to get all this built before the Civil War starts if we decide to start the Civil War. So that's definitely going to be interesting. We've got a 23% chance of adopting it here, so it's kind of slow rolls. And we'll see what happens here. Wow, here comes the Russian army. Okay. Well, that's spicy. That is spicy indeed. Okay, well, this is fine for the moment-ish. The British are going to have to bail us out here, but, I mean, we basically knew that. Wallachia is currently in default. Yeah, that's to be expected. We're going to be in default ourselves soon enough. Okay, so this is going to go up to 99. Noted. On the next tick, we are likely going to have revolution, whether we want it or not. This is the most awkward of times to have a revolution, of course. But here comes the British army. I'm not sure exactly where they're going, but sure. This is going very badly on this front because the British just don't have enough people on this front. That said, overall, the British are going even in this war. So that is reasonably fine. So our opium plantations are definitely being worked on here. We're going to have all of them finished up soon enough. so that's great. Dangerous equipment, huh? We cannot pull the brakes on the engines of progress. Okay. Are we going to get Presidential Republic here? We've got a 24% chance. Here in 95 days, anyway. This revolution may happen before then. It would be 99.9. That's a rounding error. This may or may not start up the revolution. If it does, well, Britain's already in the area, so there's that. So we'll see what ends up happening here. This is going to be very interesting. Okay, so there's a Persian religious diplomatic revolt. That is expected. So at this point, I'm going to cancel all of these constructions. We are not going to be working on construction at this moment. We'll come back to these. Okay, there we go. So now we're going to shift from this front over here. And we're going to move them over to this front. This is far, far more important to us. Okay, now they're all on defense. That's understood. I'm assuming that Britain is going to be in this. Yes. Excellent. So we're pulling back from that front. We'll have a little bit of time to reorganize. That's understood. And anger at the front. Yeah, so what do we want to do about this? None of this actually matters, does it? Okay. There we go. That'll do for now. So we're going to head on over to the fronts here. We'll get this, in theory, under control. The British are going to have to take care of this, and the British are going to have to take care of this as well. So this is very awkward for them, I'm sure, but it's fine. It's absolutely fine. So Wallachia is in default at this point. Our civil war chose the most awkward time to actually ramp up here. So I want to take a look here. Britain is by default in this. Russia could be swayed into it, but it doesn't really matter either way. So we'll see what happens here. This is really, really awkward timing. But it looks like we'll be able to handle this. So, for right now, I probably still want to be building some opium, I'm thinking. So let's continue to work on this. I'm noticing the opium costs going up in Khorasan. I don't want to build necessarily this many. So let's build some in like Hazaristan as well, maybe about 10, and then a few in Persian Hormuz, only like 5. And then this is reasonably okay. Yeah, this is starting to decline at this point. It's a lot of opium plantations, but we need cash crop, right? Trucial states. Hang on. That moved on me. I don't want to build in trucial states right now. Okay, so it would be something like this. We can't build any more in Khorasan, but that looks good. So we're going to get those underway. That'll be fine. It's going to be very slow construction. Most of our construction is not located here, right? So this revolution is happening. The British are on this front. And they're also on this front. So they're going to help us, and this should be reasonably okay. It's very awkward, no doubt about it, but we'll continue to work on this as quickly as we can. So now you can see, after this happened, shockingly, we have worse rolls after the rebellion started. That's very strange. So we had a stall here. Minus 15% enactment success chance. We're going to have to take the -7. That's really, really unfortunate. It's surprising to me that these interest groups didn't leave, but I guess it's because they weren't really restricted to this area, right? So I guess that does make some amount of sense. Everyone everywhere doesn't want this, so these guys seceding should have made it a little bit easier to pass, though, I would think. Okay, so the North German Federation pieced out. That's good to know. And this war is going to be breaking out shortly here. Okay, so war with the Persian absolutist revolt has broken out. This is going to be mopped up very, very quickly over here. Although we need these guys to be advancing their fronts. Our manpower levels are low due to fighting the Russians, but we're just going to switch all of those over to attack. So this should get wrapped up very quickly. And with the help of the British, we should have no problem squashing the rest of this. So I want these guys to head to this front. Don't head to the Russian front. I want nothing to do with that Russian front. But it is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we're going to finish this up. We're going to see if we can get this presidential republic passed. Ideally, we can, but it'll be interesting. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Andy McGard, Dark Horse, Xenocyte, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, that's not the button I'm looking for, but I'll go with it. As always, I will see you all next time.